this three-round format. I wouldn't describe him as particularly good to watch, if I'm completely honest.
And now, bring out his opponent in the ring, fighting out of the corner, representing Japan, it is
Yuito Moriwaki got to the Olympic Games in Tokyo, got to the round of 16 and then lost to Alexander Kizhniak. He was one of the more entertaining fighters that we saw at the Tokyo Games. Got to the final but lost a thrilling final actually at 75 kilos. Former Japanese national champion Moriwaki, 25 years old. JAFAROV just 22, so a big future ahead of him. JAFAROV in the red, Uzbekistan, Moriwaki, Japan in the blue. So the southpaw of Uzbekistan, JAFAROV, wearing red. Orthodox fighter Moriwaki, Japan, wearing blue. Leading off the jab there, JAFAROV looks that left hand to the body. That's what he likes. He'll look for a lot of those. It's a good tactic. Punching to the body in any form of boxing, but particularly in AIBA boxing, I think in these three-round fights, if you can land to the body, and there's a lot of the body to hit, much more of the body to hit than the head, then it works twofold because they're scoring blows, number one. Number two, it just takes the momentum away from your opponent. It takes their balance away. It means whatever they were thinking about doing, they've got to start again. He's a big middleweight, JAFAROV, as well. When you look at him in there, wide back, long reach. Looking for the left hand down the middle there, the Uzbek. It's something he can tend to struggle with a bit, shooting that left straight. Tends to pull off the backhand a bit sometimes. No knockdown there, signalled by the referee. Right hand from Moriwaki was slightly round the back. Jab just about got there for JAFAROV and then looked for that left hand, stepped in with it, stepped in a bit too far. He was cramped for space by the time he looked to try and let it go, heading towards the final 30 seconds of round one. Styles haven't really gelled in this round. Good left to the body there from JAFAROV. Goes to battle at the end of the first round. JAFAROV was the more effective of the two, I would say. It wasn't particularly easy on the eye. As I said at the beginning, his style generally isn't 10-9s across the board there for him, but it is effective. It is effective. He looks to land that left hand to the body. isn't generally interested in throwing more than that 1-2 or a 2-punch combination. You're moving behind it most of the time, and it just makes him very difficult to counter, because that happens. When he comes in, his opponent really needs to try and back up, but you've got to back up a long way to catch him on the way in, because he's so big and he's got that long reach. Or you can step off to the side. It's not an easy thing to do, but the one thing you don't really want to do is hold your ground and have him run into you, because by the time you're ready to try and get a counter away, he's all over you, he's right on top of you. Left to the body, there it is. Left to the body. And again, from closer range that time. And then grabs hold. He's landed 3 or 4 lefts straight into the sternum there of Moriwaki in the opening minute of this round. They're all scoring blows, they're all solid blows, and it's very, very effective. Final minute of round 2, and JAFAROV is winning this round. Another left to the body there. Moriwaki just finding it impossible to get inside that lead hand. Absolutely impossible. Another left straight down the middle into the body. He's got nice balance, JAFAROV. Look at those feet. They always stay an equal distance apart. And then he'll just move in behind that jab. Doesn't always really look to land the jab, but it's a distraction, it keeps you occupied. He moves in behind that jab with a left hand to the body and just keeps coming. There he goes. And it's really difficult to deal with. And that's another round for JAFAROV, I'm sure about that. It's a bit dispiriting, I think, for Moriwaki, this, because I think fighting JAFAROV, it'd be quite easy to get to the end of the fight without really feeling like you've done anything. Like the fight has just kind of passed you by. You were in it, but you weren't really in it. Because, as I've been saying, he's got that style which is very, very effective. That was a good stiff jab. And he deserves credit for that. Of course. He's the Asian champion. He beat Abulkan Amankul of Kazakhstan, a pretty formidable fighter, on a split in the final, and he's 22, so I don't want to sound like I'm getting on his case too much. He's extremely good at what he does. It's just not the most aesthetically pleasing thing you'll see, but boxing's not necessarily about that. trying to throw a little feint there, Moriwaki, keep that head on the move. Left hand from JAFAROV, went up top that time and then just spun around the back of him. Nice use of the jab there from JAFAROV. He's just switching things up a bit more in this third and final round. Looking to try and snatch that jab. There's that left hand to the body. Demonstrating here that he is capable of being a bit more expansive. That was always going to be the case. It takes a lot of discipline actually to stick to a plan, which is what he does, what he did in the opening 2 rounds. Maybe in the 3rd round, that's when he looks to just enjoy himself a little bit more if he feels that he's got the fight under control, which he absolutely has here. Moriwaki getting through there for maybe the first time with a right and a left. They weren't completely clean, but he'll take them because successes have been hard to come by in this fight for him.
Rigby end of bout 308.
So the final bell tolls and Saidjamshid JAFAROV will be going through. He'll be in against Mir Sharif Kazim Zadi in the next stage. Hand raised for Saidjamshid JAFAROV, something that he's got very used to since he started boxing a good few years ago now. 3 rounds to 0 with all of the judges. And he just never really allowed Moriwaki into the fight. So 2 fights remaining, both at middleweight. We're upon Jong Jaho of Thailand up against Jordan Panthen of the USA. They'll be looking to keep their charmed run in Ring B going. And then Norway against Ukraine. Mindaugas Gedminas of Norway, Ivan Paparkin of Ukraine.